We identified that 25 to 30% of the people that heard the Water Smart message are reporting using 10% less water last year over the previous year. So water conservation is really the least cost water that's immediately available. And what I mean by that, if you have to go build new reservoirs, they're very expensive. If you conserve water that we already have, that can postpone and delay new water projects. But I think we need to be very clear. We can't conserve our way out of this problem. And neither can Texas ration and restrict its way to growth. We need everything to be on the table when it comes to water planning. New reservoirs, underground storage today. We need desalination, we need new technologies, and we need conservation. It does take money, and I think there's a lot of good ideas today. I oppose a statewide water tax. I think Texans are taxed enough already. I do believe we need to be strategic on how we use the dollars that we have available. I think the rainy day fund is an appropriate area. I was among the first statewide to start talking about a strategic and cautious use of the rainy day fund. But I think when we do that, we need to think about it in terms of really what is the state's responsibility. The regional planning groups have identified over $53 billion worth of capacity projects. They would like the state to participate at about $27 billion, which I think is a Christmas wish list. The ultimate responsibility is at the local level. But Texas has a definite role to play. We have a role to play in planning. Texas has a role to play in research and promoting research. Texas can be involved in conservation messaging. Texas Water Smart is also focusing on an education curriculum to use in 4-H and FFA and getting young people involved. But the real role of the state of Texas is in being a deal closer. Local communities and regions have to develop the strategy and the funding mechanisms to build water resources. But Texas can come in and be an equity partner in that. We know the dollars may not be there for the demand and the ability to pay today, but if you can come up with 80% of that, Texas can come in and buy a 20% participation. That's what that money needs to be looked at using. But we need to use it efficiently, and we need to be effective in our dollar use. The rainy day fund just should not be a gravy train that everybody runs to. I think we need to define what Texas' role is, and then we can define what the price tag really needs to be. I think no matter what's appropriate, there's always going to be people asking for more. That's human nature. But whatever that number is needs to be defined after we really articulate and put pen to paper on what is the best use of those state dollars and how can it be leveraging private investment. Right now, San Antonio is taking requests for proposals to get water to San Antonio, and they're using the private sector to do that. So before we finalize a solid number, we need to go through this process and define the role of the state of Texas. The state water plan is really an amalgamation of regional water plans that are local water plans. Those need to be funded by the ratepayers primarily, because there you will have the greatest level of direct end-user responsibility and highest level of accountability. The state should put money in from the rainy day fund, but we need to define exactly what that needs to be.